Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and like the title said, I'm going to be explaining how to counter the Krasue in your match and in chase. So if you've gone against a good Krasue or seen the videos on YouTube, or low-key I'm glazing myself right now, but like how I play, that would seem very oppressive and seem very overpowered, which some people might say she still is, but she's gotten nerfed twice and I feel like her values are a little bit better now. But some people still need some guidance. They have no clue what they're doing. And as a main of her myself, I look at the many mistakes a lot of the survivors that I face do. So I'm going to be helping you guys to understand those mistakes today. But before I get to that, I want to explain to you a concept or idea, however you want to call it. Okay, so whenever I think of the idea of how to have a good chase with a killer, I like to first of all try to measure the killer's lethality in a way, like how lethal they are. And I like to put this on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being like straight up baby killer, new to the game, runs through every palette, and then 5 like they know what they're doing kind of. They like know like the usual gist of killer. They respect palettes, they do this, they do fakes, mind games. And then 10 being like absolute comp demon, they know like their killer to the full extent. Like they're just like crazy mind gamer and they know like everything about gen control, tunneler, all that. Okay, to make this easier to understand, I want you to think of yourself in a DBD match as a survivor. Let's say you have your first chase with a huntress, right? And she has no idea how to use her power, how to mind game. She just vaults after you like a bot. She does not respect palettes. Yeah, she's definitely like at tier 1 or 2 on the lethality rate. So considering that, you would know you can't greed pallets, right? Because she's just gonna run through them. So you would just end up dropping pallets no matter what, right? But if it's a huntress that's like level 5 or above, that knows that she can hold her hatchet out at pallets to get a free lineup, you would then start greeting and it would actually work, right? So to apply this to this video, I want you to realize that some of these counters may not work on every Krasue because every Krasue has a different like understanding of her power and the full and like the understanding of the full extent. Some don't know that you can hit crazy curves and slides with it, while some do. So you kind of have to like adapt to like this Krasue that you're playing against lethality and play around it. Alright, that's it for now on my idea or little concept of how to loop killers. I'll make a full video about that concept later on, but for right now, I'm going to show you how to counter the Krasue because this is a heavily requested video. Okay, to start us off, I want you to remember that in body form, she has to first leech you to use her head form. So the regurgitate, which gives you leech tier 1, which is good enough for her head form, is like a small projectile that bounces off of things, only vertical things, not the floor. So it's really fast and it splatters and it hums towards people that are close enough. Only if they're close enough, remember that. So one thing you can do to prevent this from happening is by running in the open, but remember that when you dodge, you lose distance from her. And she can still M1 you, so you have to be really careful while you're doing this. While this may work, some Krasues will know that they can use little things in the environment even to infect you, or someone just really good at direct hits. They're like strafe you. So keeping that in mind, make sure that you keep note of how much distance you have and make sure that you can get to that resource, pallet, window, or whatever you need. Unfortunately though, Krasue's regurgitate is really forgiving, so you will inevitably get infected sometimes with it, but don't let your hopes down because there are still things you can do to counter her head form. And here's one thing I see a lot of people do in chase. Eating a mushroom mid-chase may seem as like it's beneficial, but do not do it in her face because she can straight up just reset it. She can wait for you to finish eating it and then she will hit you and it'll reset it. You can get hit by either head form or her knife, basically M1, and it'll reset it right back to Leech tier 1. You can pull off a cleanse mid-chase, but it's often rare because the Krasues that are good will get you before it even happens. Also remember that whenever you're getting chased by a Krasue, that you have like a ticking time bomb on yourself. After a minute of being leashed, you will reach leech tier 2, and at tier 2 you become broken and injured. So don't let that catch you off guard too much. Okay, so when it comes to going against head form, mainly, like while you're like mid-chase, you want to prioritize camping pallets. Kind of like how you play against a clown. You can't play long things like with the clown because the purple bottles will slow you down and you won't make it all the way. Same thing with a Krasue. If a Krasue knows what she's doing, she will not let you make it back to the pallet. Knowing this, you want to make sure you camp the pallets Vaults or drop pallets. And while you're camping, you want to make sure you watch her every single move she makes so that you don't fall for any mind game and that you get the stun at the perfect time. It doesn't even have to be your stun. As long as you make a distance, you're good. But when it comes to drop pallets, it becomes a little harder because she has third-person camera, so she can basically kill a trick spot you. And I will make a video about that later on to help some other Krasues use that to their advantage. But be careful when it comes to Krasues that don't use their flight mid-chase a lot, because the ones that don't use their flight mid-chase a lot are available to attack anytime. Whenever someone's using flight a lot, they can't attack because they're mid-flight and they have to come up out of the ground. So you have to be really attentive to the ones that stay up and don't go down to the ground. To put this into simpler words, basically you have to have a really, really good reaction speed when it comes to facing her. And it is really hard sometimes, especially on tiles that are like really short, because you kind of can't do anything. But when you have something that's strong, it's still even a challenge because there's just so much things you have to watch out for, and like we don't know her full capabilities yet. Like I do, but a lot of survivors don't because they haven't played against a lot of them. When it comes to Shaq, unfortunately, you kind of have to drop the pallet as Shaq because if it's a good Krasue, they would literally not let you play alongside at all. And alongside is the best thing about Shaq. Because of her high mobility, she will literally just catch up to you. Like if you take the vault and you go to alongside, you're wrapped. It's wraps. Guaranteed hit for her. Guaranteed hit, by the way. Unless they're like, they have no thumbs. But once you drop the pallet, it basically forces them to go to body and break it because they cannot do anything unless they force you to block that window in there. The reason why that works so well is because her vault speed is really slow now, and by the time they vault, you have time to vault the window again. Now to like the little tips, whenever you're going against head form, you can actually do like the stick tech on her, or like the elevation tech, which is like, it works on like killers like Blight and Billy and people that dash that have weird hitboxes. I don't know why, but this just makes you go straight through her. Like, no, she goes straight through you, and it's just stupid. But the Krasue can just straight up go to body form and chase you, so be careful of that. Another thing that the Krasue is also good at is checking gens. Her spit splashes on gens, so if she gets a direct hit on a generator, it'll splash onto everyone there. So you want to make sure you watch your surroundings and always check the sky. Well, it depends on how good they are if they go for these, but it's pretty noticeable. Like you hear the tear radius and you want to like be a little cautious and look around. But if they are nearby and you hear a Krasue going to body form, you should definitely back off because that is definitely a sign she's going to spit onto your generator. This is already a pretty known counter, but if someone that isn't Leech body blocks for a Leech survivor that's getting chased by a head form, it is pretty good, especially when they block doorways like this. But the Krasue can transmit back to body form, so make sure you pay attention, and if you hear it go back to body, go ahead and split up. Alright y'all, that's all I got for now. I will later on upload videos of me looping other good Krasues, but it's kind of hard to find some because the ones that I find usually now are not that good. I'm not trying to be rude, they're just not proficient in her yet. But I know I'm like horrible at explaining, but I try my best, and I hope you guys can understand this video. And if you have any other tips or any counters, let me know in the comments.